Alright, let's get the show on the road. I am beginning my test of a new-ish Crimson Trace CTS 1550, excuse me, miniature red dot sight. Here is the box for it. You should be able to see it adequately well. If I got my lighting worked out. Basically, it's a small red dot sights, this guy, that fits in the RMS Shield RMS J-point footprint. It has, this particular one has a 3 MOA dot, runs off of the standard 2032 button lithium battery, and it, according to the box, in typical use the battery life is 20,000 hours or 2+ years. I am going to put it on the gun and carry it and see. The regular carry gun I have is actually this guy. I took it apart. This started life as a Glock 48 frame, to which I later added a Brownells slide, machined for the RMS-C. Narrow slide Glocks need the compact red dot sight in order to not overhang on the sides. The Crimson Trace sight in question is a little bit wider. You can see it. So this is the Shield RMS-C, RMS Compact. This is the new Crimson Trace. RMS is a aluminum housing. Crimson Trace is some sort of polymer housing. So in terms of competing against Shield, I think this is, in terms of how it's built and everything, is more of a competitor for the Shield SMS, which is pretty much similar thing to the J-point. In terms of the width, the Crimson Trace is almost exactly the same width as the regular RMS and a little bit wider than the RMS-C. So in the gun on my right hand is a regular RMS, and the middle is RMS-C, and on the left is the Crimson Trace. Excuse me. That's the holster I normally carry. To get you a closer look, RMS mounted in the gun, and the Crimson Trace CTS 1550 I'm holding in my hand. One interesting thing is that if you look at it carefully, there is this little thingy that sticks out from the back of the Crimson Trace. It does not exist on the Shield, on either one of them, right? This is just kind of a semicircular thing. Here there is a little bit of a stub sticking out. Because of that, if a particular slide is cut specifically for Shield RMS, it might not work with the Crimson Trace. For example, for this Brownells slide that I normally carry, the Crimson Trace does not fit in it because of this little indentation. Let me see if I have a small flashlight that I can use to add a little bit of light. Okay, right there. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I hope you guys can see it well enough. You should be able to. However, this slide, well, this gun, I just got this. It's a Glock 43X MOS, and unlike the other MOS Glocks, this guy is cut specifically for the RMS-C pattern, but it does have this cutout to fit the Crimson Trace and presumably other types of sights, and that actually fits quite nicely. And this is the slide I am going to put this on. Okay. The CTS 1500 comes with 3 sets of screws, presumably for different slides. The largest diameter ones are the ones that fit on the Glock 43 MOS. There are no adapter plates, nothing. It's just designed for this type of a sight, so it will fit presumably the Crimson Trace 1550, Shield RMS, Shield RMS-C, SIG Romeo 0 that I am planning to look at in the not too distant future, J-Point, and perhaps a few others. I know Swamp Fox has a couple of small red dot sights that fit in the same footprint. They will all fit on a Glock 43X MOS. I do not know for sure which ones will fit on the Brownell slide, since perhaps others have this little nub here that prevents it, that right here, that prevents it from going onto the Brownell slide. In terms of me briefly taking a look, I don't see anything wrong with this guy. It is comparatively very inexpensive. The RMS, a full-size RMS, runs in a $400 something range for 30 or so. RMS-C I think is around 400, high 300s. The SMS from Shield, I do not have one here. I had an SMS-C somewhere. Oh, I gave it to my brother. That one also has a polymer housing, so that would probably be a more direct competitor to the Crimson Trace. But Crimson Trace is still a lot cheaper. Crimson Trace 1550. I think it runs under $200, while the SMS from Shield is about $300. However, the Crimson Trace is made in China, while the all of Shield sights are made in the UK, and that presumably is responsible for the price difference. Just like the RMS on the Shield, on the Crimson Trace CTS 1550, there are no controls of any sort. It auto adjusts brightness, and in playing with it for now, it seems to be calibrated well. I don't really have any issues looking at reasonably well lit areas when I'm in a shade, which is one of the potential weaknesses of the auto adjust systems. What I do like about this, it comes with a cover, so what if I want to just store it somewhere, the battery is not going to die out. But I will say this, so with the RMS-C, which is also auto adjust and everything, I've carried it for almost a year, I think, and I'm pretty sure I'm still on a regional battery. So my birthday is in April, and I sort of decided that around my birthday I'm gonna go and replace all of the batteries in my various red dot sights, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. But in practical terms, I need a battery in a red dot sight to survive for 1 year of carry, and then I just swap out all batteries, and we'll see how it's gonna go with the Crimson Trace. For the immediate future, my carry gun is going to remain this guy. However, I'm gonna do a little bit of shooting with this. I do insist on co-witnessed iron sights, and if I do not see any sort of early failure, I'm going to switch to carrying this Glock 43X MOS with the Crimson Trace sight, and that's honestly the best durability test I can think of. Whatever happens to be my carry gun gets shot quite a bit. Every time I go shooting for any tests and other purposes, I make it a point to dedicate a few minutes and do some proper shooting, a few drills, stuff like that, with whatever I happen to be carrying. So this is going to be a reasonable amount of abuse. Why this specific platform? Well, the standard magazine for Glock 43X or Glock 48 is this 10 rounder. However, the Glock I've been carrying shoots really well with 15 round magazines from Shield Arms, and it fits my hand adequately well. I like slimmer grips, and it also happens to fit my wife's hand reasonably well. The regular Glock 43, and I have a version of that as well, is a little bit too short for any sort of volume practice, but 43X 48 frame is just right. If both of these, I know this one is, we'll see if this one is, it's new. If both of these are reliable with Shield Arms 15 round magazines, I am basically going to standardize on this frame. I'm not going to get rid of all my other Glocks. Lord knows I have a lot of them. But for carry and for home defense and for all that sort of stuff, I prefer to have pretty much an identical setup, or as close as I can make it. So I'm going to carry the same kind of frame, trigger, iron sight, red dot setup, and I'm going to have another one at home for home defense purposes. At least I plan to. My carry gun has all black, no dots, nothing, no tritium iron sights that are co-witness. These are from Ameriglo. They're standard height, just a all black different arrangement. This guy that I just received has the usual, Glock sights with a white outline. Eventually I will replace it. I'm not a huge fan of Glock standard sights, but they work in a pinch. But what I am going to do, I'm basically going to take a Sharpie and cover all the white material, because I generally like all black sights, and I especially prefer all black sights when I'm using them as a co-witness to the red dot sight. When you have a red dot sight on, let's see if I can get the dot to show like. There we go. Huh. The dot looks better than this with the camera. It's hard to see. But basically, when you are using a red dot sight on a handgun, it becomes your primary sight. And I don't want anything really to attract my attention. I want the iron sights to be there, to be used in a pinch or as an alignment reference. But I don't want any standout features to attract my attention from the target or from the red dot. Just a personal preference. There are different ways of doing this, but there is a method to my madness usually. So that's how I'm planning to do it. For comparison purposes, if you look, let's see if I can get you to see the dot on RMS. Yeah. If you see on RMS, nothing from the sights is interfering with your attention span, right? I wonder if I can get them both on at the same time for an illustrative purpose. That's not so easy. One, two. Okay, all right. I'm gonna stop playing around with this, but you get what I mean. It's not really a complicated concept. I have not done yet any shooting with the CTS 1550. I've mounted it, made sure the screws work, everything fits. Walked around a little bit, did a bunch of dry firing. The dot is consistent. It doesn't seem to shift around. I've seen sights that just shift around. This one doesn't. And I will do some trigger pulling with it, and I'll let you know how it goes. Before I wrap up, something to keep in mind. I do like to have lights on my guns, not so big on lasers. I like to have lights. One of the things I noticed when I picked up the Glock 43X MOS, my older 48 frame does not have a rail cover. This guy does. So I am going to see what kind of a flashlight I can potentially hang off of this, but for now I'm going to carry it as is. For this guy, I actually have a flashlight from Crimson Trace. I bought it many months ago, and I forgot about it, and I found it in the garage while we're moving. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to install it on this frame, and this is probably soon is going to become my home defense gun, and this guy with the Crimson Trace sight will become my carry gun, and we will go from there. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please ask, and I will keep you posted on how it goes.